Okay, my friend, we are going to start the podcast in just a second. We're going to go live on Facebook in matter of moments. And if you haven't done the Facebook thing, it's great. You can find it live. I'm at Right Wing News on Facebook, original Right Wing News. You can find me there 9 p.m. in the East, 6 p.m. in the West. This edition of the Rusty Humphries Rebellion brought to you by Australian Dream Arthritis Pain Relief Cream and Back Pain Relief Cream. If you have pain, this is the best stuff. Doesn't smell, doesn't burn, isn't greasy, and you get it at CVS, Walgreens, Walmart, any great retailer. And there's that empty jar guarantee. If it doesn't work for you, don't worry. You can return it and get your full refund. But you're not going to want to because this is good stuff. All right, you ready? Let's get this show on the road. We'll be starting in about a minute or so. How are you? Check in. Want to make sure everybody's here before we get started. The liberal loony left has lost it. Watch the HILLarity. That's what we're going to talk about today here on the Rusty Humphries Rebellion. Here every night, 9 p.m. in the East, 6 p.m. in the West. Then the podcast 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, iTunes, Stitcher. Ian's first one to check in. Hey, Ian, good to see you. Okay. The official sounds.
He's been put down, ripped off, cut open. Now, he's unleashed. The American insurgency starts now. This is Rusty Humphries Rebellion Radio.
Well, hello, my brother from another mother. How you doing, my sister from another mister? Hello, welcome. My name is Rusty Humphries. And this here is the Rusty Humphries Rebellion. We are powered by the nice folks at Right Wing News. Thank you, Right Wing News. Tonight's show is brought to you by our good friends at Australian Dream Arthritis Pain Relief Cream and Back Pain Relief Cream. If you've got any pain, man, arthritis, Australian Dream Arthritis Pain Relief Cream, man, this is the stuff. You just rub it where it hurts and lickety-split. It's real medicine. It actually works. Doesn't smell, it doesn't burn, it's not greasy, you're not going to smell like Grandma did. Mom, oh no, they're putting on the stuff, Grandma stinks, Grandpa stinks. Grandkids aren't going to do that, they're not even going to know, because Australian Dream is that good, and then you're going to be all happy, dancing around, because you're feeling good. Now, let's say you take my word for it, you go to the nearest Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, and you pick some up, and you try it, it doesn't work for you. Well, first of all, I don't know what's wrong with you. But let's just say it didn't work for you. Use the whole jar and then send it back, get a full refund. But I'm telling you what, you're not going to want to do that because Australian Dream Arthritis Pain Relief Cream, man, it just works. What more do you want? How about just a product that works? All right? So go check it out, would you please? Australian Dream Arthritis Pain Relief Cream and Back Pain Relief Cream. Okay, let's check in. Let's see who's here. Not going to be a huge show tonight. But I want to check in with you tonight. Let's see. We got a lot of already people are checking in. I love it. I'm noticing that more and more people are there right at 6 o'clock, right here on Right Wing News or on my page, which is Talk to Rusty, or it's also on the Deplorables page, and it's on Team Trump and Barron Trump's page, and my Facebook page, which is Talk to Rusty. Thank you, everybody. I appreciate it. I love it. I love you being here. Let's see. Ian is an Ohio deplorable. Justin is from Utah. Gary says, hi, you old fart. Am I an old fart already? Michael says, ice fishing first. Okay. Craig says, ditto. Sharon is from Missouri. Mike is in New York. Courtney is in Texas. Linda is in West Virginia. Stark in Illinois. Mike in Kalamazoo, Michigan. Louise is a Ohio deplorable. Nick's in Michigan, too. Pamela is Pam's from Milwaukee. She's checking in. John's in Colorado. KJ in Utah. Craig in Ohio. Teresa in Alabama. Kim says, I'm back. She's back. Or he's back. That's that one of those names you don't know. Sorry, Kim. Robbie's in North Carolina. Joji, Fort Hood. Anita, Southern California. I'm going to Southern California tonight. Going to I took my daughter to Disneyland a couple weeks ago, and the crowds were just so outrageous that we couldn't do anything, so we're going back tomorrow. She didn't have school tomorrow, so now hopefully that doesn't mean it's going to be real crowded. But we love Disneyland. Love Disneyland, Disney World. Eric is deplorable in Afghanistan. Eric, I've been to Afghanistan. Afghanistan, tell me if you agree with this, Eric. Afghanistan, what's the best way to describe Afghanistan? Afghanistan sucks. There's no two ways around it. I was there with the 4-star general, the SACEUR, the Supreme Allied Commander of Europe, a General Vance Craddock. Now, one thing I learned when you're with a 4-star general, it's funny, meetings start on time. People are waiting for you. But, you're on roads in Afghanistan that were built by Alexander the Great and haven't really been fixed up since America got there. I mean, it's awful there. And Eric, for you serving there, God bless you, brother. Thank you for your service. And everybody, if you'd give Eric a little thumbs up, a little heart, give him some love, Eric deserves it. And anybody that served our great nation, whether it's in Afghanistan or Iraq or anywhere around the world, that at any time, we don't give our troops enough love. We don't. We've become a country where patriotism is hokey and corny. It's not hokey and corny here, my friend. No, it is not. Okay. Michael says, Pennsylvania, no jobs here. Really? I'm sorry. Marshall's a deplorable from Ohio. A lot of Ohio tonight. A lot of Michigan today. A lot of Pennsylvania. I love you guys. Thank you. Richard is from Pennsylvania. Jim's in Indianapolis. Rick's in Florida. Dean is Maryland. Willard's, Maryland, deplorable. Sharon, Nether Ohio. Donald, North Carolina. Pete, Salt Lake City. William, Louisville. Billy is in Arkansas. Alicia checking in from Lexington, Kentucky. Says, hey, Rusty, how you doing? Edward is in New York. He's with us. Thank you. Bob's in Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania. Thank you. Deborah is in South Georgia. Listening after Irma. Did you hit very bad, Deborah, or was it okay for you? How was it for you? I'd like to know. Rick says, hey, Rusty. Reese says, good evening, Rusty. Michael, Virginia, deplorable. Clinton is a North Bay, New York, deplorable. Martin's a deplorable from his holiday in the Philippines. Teresa checking in from Davis, California. I used to live there with my grandmother. She lived in Vacaville and Sassoon City. So I have family out there. Not too far from you. Susan, upstate New York. Anna's in Texas. Dwayne checking in. How you doing? PC Beach is where Joe is. Hilda's in Boston, home of my good friend Jeff Cooner on WRKO. Roy's in Oklahoma. Teddy wants to know, is it going to get rid of liberals? Oh, I'm guessing the Australian dream. Susan checking in from Dayton. Martin is a deplorable in Indiana, in a semi. Rick likes cream anywhere. Thank you. Bill's in Georgia. Alicia's in Lexington, Kentucky. Milton is listening in New York. Melissa in California. Joshua says, look at all the angry Hillary supporters in the beginning of the emojis. All right. Greg's in Florida. Anthony's in Florida. All right. Anyway, everybody, thank you so much. I could read these for hours, and you know what? I will go through these on my own and check in and read this. I do read all of the comments after the show. I just can't read them all during the show, or else it's going to be a pretty boring show. But I'll try to read some more. Rick and David and Robert. David in Oklahoma and Belinda in Florida. Tom is in Sydney, Australia. Starting to make you compulsory watching and listening. Tom, you rock. Okay. So today was a day, a couple things happened. Oh, by the way, Glenn shared the video. Would you please share the video? We need to get the shares out there. We need people to see this. We need that interaction. Your emojis are awesome. I'm seeing a lot of thumbs up, a lot of hearts there. It needs some more, but thank you very much. I appreciate it. Let's keep those going. Today was one of those days where the left kind of, I don't know, it's now they're starting to lose this battle of blaming Trump for everything. People are getting really sick of it. So now we're going to march good old Hillary Clinton out. And for some reason, the left is thinking, well, Hillary will make everybody realize how wrong they were to vote for Trump. And I got to be honest, the more Hillary talks, thank God she didn't get elected. Did you see her on Stephen Colbert? What a stupid question. Of course you didn't watch him on Stephen Colbert. Nobody watched him on her and Stephen Colbert. But I will play you just a couple of minutes of it. I know you hate looking at her, but you should hear this stuff here on the Rusty Humphries Rebellion.
That is where we settle our political differences, and that's where it should be.
I agree. Did you happen to see the president's speech at the UN today?
I saw parts of it, yes.
What did you make of it?
I thought it was very dark, dangerous. Not the kind of message that the leader of the greatest nation in the world should be delivering. You are both...
It's almost like a golf clap.
You are both required to stand up for the values of what we believe in, democracy and opportunity, as a way to demonstrate clearly the United States remains the beacon that we want it to be. While, of course, when you face dangerous situations like what is happening in North Korea, to make it clear, your first approach should always be diplomatic. What I'd hope the president would have said was something along the lines of, we view this as dangerous to our allies, to the region, and even to our country. We call on all nations to work with us to try to end the threat posed by Kim Jong-un, and not call him Rocket Man, the old Elton John song. Man. But to say it clearly, we will not tolerate any attacks on our friends or ourselves. But you should lead with diplomacy.
Okay, do you mind if I just stop that windbag for just a second? So basically, she would want another apologetic Obama speech. How well did that work, dumbass? You were Secretary of State. You were one of the worst, weakest secretaries of state in the history of our country. It's because of your lousy foreign policy and your former boss, Obama, that we're in these messes. $150 billion, whatever the hell you guys gave to Iran. Dumbasses. I know that wasn't her. It was John Kerry. You're all a bunch of dumbasses. And to actually think that we should be listening to what you have to say. I mean, I know the masses are asses in America. I know they keep proving it. I mean, anybody that would think that Hillary Clinton is right proves to me that they're dumbasses. But let's hear just another 30 seconds of it, a little bit more. Don't turn off, please. But you should hear what this dumbass Hillary Clinton had to say on Stephen Colbert last night.
Should lead with the commitment to trying to avoid conflict however you can.
One of the things that you say in the book is that in recovering from this and while writing the book, you leaned heavily on Chardonnay.
She's an alcoholic.
So I was wondering whether you would you care for look at that?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, absolutely.
Sure?
Well,
we all want to be drinking when she's around.
There were a few other things, but this helped.
Yeah, we all want to be. Yeah, I bet there was other things. Okay. Oh, that's the HILLarity. The HILLarity with Hillary. Yeah. I don't drink, but I'll tell you what, I was sure thinking of starting up when she was maybe going to be president. Wow. Okay. Let's see. Brian says because she's a Model 6. I don't know what that means. Kim says she makes me ill. I'm proud of my president. Thank the Lord above she didn't get in. That's all I have to say. Greg says heads a bobbing. Blah, 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 blah. Bobblehead of my life, says Alan. Richard says, I think the Wicked Witch was drunk. Kathy says, liquor her up so we can see the true Hillary. Deborah says, she has quite a bit of swag for somebody that lost. It's true. Norbert thinks she was already drunk. Okay. Tim says, I always wondered what Pizza Hut did with those tablecloths they had in the 80s. Too bad we're not seeing the back of that outfit getting smaller and smaller for the last time. You guys are funny. You're funny. All right, give me some thumbs up, give us some hearts, check in if you haven't yet. Have you shared the video yet? We don't have enough shares today. What's up with that? We need some shares. Okay. You want to see another lefty just lose it? No, actually, before we do that, my friend Milo put up a pretty good video today. And it's about, and it's kind of, it's not attacking Trump, but it does say something that I agree with, and that was, as it says right here in the video, when we said lock her up, we weren't asking. Well, let's play a little bit of this video because, again, you know, this is a woman that has committed multiple crimes for many, many years. I can't commit crimes for many, many years. You can't commit crimes for many, many years. We don't want our leaders committing crimes like this. They should be held accountable. They need to be held accountable. So why is she getting away with it? I don't know. And maybe if we get this video and more out there, it's going to get some attention in the administration. So let's play it here on the Rusty Humphries Rebellion.
When crowds of people were shouting lock her up, they weren't asking. It wasn't a joke. Nobody was laughing. It was everyday Americans tired of a justice system that only applies to the little people. Tired of a ruling class immune to justice. Just plain tired. And when Donald J. Trump famously said on that debate stage that if he were in charge of law and order in this country, that Hillary would be in jail.
Because you'd be in jail.
Secretary.
That was an implied promise. A promise of a return to law and order? Something our society desperately needs if we expect our citizens to respect the ruling authority of our government. People look at the ruling class and say to themselves, well, if the laws don't apply to them, why should I follow them? Which is a perfectly good question, by the way. And it's especially dangerous when we're not talking about just getting your friends out of a few parking tickets. We're talking about a justice system whose moral authority has been so eroded that it seems for people with enough money and power, there is no law at all. No matter what the crime is. Donald J. Trump has a chapter in his book about delivering the goods, and I can think of no greater good than restoring justice in our society, because if laws don't mean anything to the rich and powerful, they don't mean anything at all.
Very well done. Very well done. And do you agree with that? I think we have to hold these people accountable. You know, one of the things I think we get concerned about, and rightfully so, you don't want it so that every time another party comes in, they legally go after the last party. You know, that's third world country republic, you know, banana republic garbage where, you know, I didn't like the last guy, so I'm going to arrest her. You know, that stuff is scary to me. But, you know, the Clintons were a special deal. And they committed a lot of crimes. And I'll tell you what, I think the Obama administration has committed dangerous crimes. And I'm very concerned. I'm very concerned with what the Obama administration did. I'll give you a good example. Actually, let me bring this up on a different thing here. I apologize. Samantha Power. This is a woman far, far left-winger. She's a woman that, you know, the left really, really loves. And she somehow, I mean, the Obama, I mean, this was far left-wing kook, okay? And Barack Obama actually thought it was a good idea to make her our UN ambassador. Now there's more information that this hack, this criminal, sought to unmask the Trump team identities during the wiretaps. Those wiretaps that the Democrats said never happened, the wiretaps that everybody laughed at, the wiretaps that, Donald Trump just made up, he's crazy. No, it was the wiretaps that actually happened. And so I'm waiting for this video to pop up so I can show you exactly what what this story is, because it's awful scary here on the Rusty Humphries Rebellion.
Of information Special Counsel Robert Mueller is looking for in his investigation of Russian interference or their efforts at interference in last year's election. Chief Intelligence Correspondent Catherine Herridge is here tonight with that. Good evening, Catherine.
Well, thank you, Brett. A legal source confirms to Fox News that Special Counsel Robert Mueller has made a broad records request to the White House covering multiple staffers and includes actions taken by President Trump. The New York Times reports the Special Counsel has 13 areas of interest, including the firing of former National Security Advisor Michael Flynn, as well as the firing of former FBI Director James Comey. The requests reportedly include the May Oval Office meeting with Russian officials, where the president met with the Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov. And it's alleged by the Times Mr. Trump said firing Comey relieved the pressure on him. A member of the president's legal team told Fox News, out of respect for the special counsel and his process, the White House does not comment on any specific request. I can only reaffirm that the White House is committed to cooperating fully with Special Counsel Mueller. In a separate development, Fox News is learning new information about the rapid pace of unmasking in the final months of the Obama White House. Two sources not authorized to speak on the record said the request from Samantha Power, former U.S. ambassador to the United Nations, exceeds 260, with one request coming in the days leading up to the inauguration. The House Intelligence Committee sent subpoenas in May for the unmasking requests by former CIA Director John Brennan, former National Security Advisor Susan Rice, and Power. Records were also requested for Presidential Advisor Ben Rhodes. At a congressional hearing that same month, a senior committee Republican pressed the CIA director on the issue without mentioning Power by name.
Do you recall any U.S. ambassadors asking that names be unmasked?
I don't know. Maybe it's ringing a vague bell, but I'm not. I could not answer with any confidence.
Hold on for a second. First of all, I'm going to go back because you got to look at the guy's face. But boy, I don't remember if an ambassador asked. I mean, how would you remember if an ambassador did? I mean, because there's so many of them just running around Washington, D.C. and New York, right? I mean, how would you know? Let's go back. Let's go back and look at this. Because, it's, he when you look at him, it's like he knows he's been nailed. He knows. He knows it. But he's going to lie again and get away with it again. Here we go. Let's get back to this. Here we go.
Do you recall any U.S. ambassadors asking that names be unmasked?
Look at that look.
I don't know. Maybe it's ringing a vague bell, but I could not answer with any confidence.
On either January 19th or up till noon on January the 20th, did you make any unmasking request?
I do not believe I did.
Spokesperson for Power today had no comment on the numbers or the timing of her requests, but in a previous statement emphasized to Fox that Power was acting in her capacity as a member of the National Security Council and never leaked classified information. Brett.
Catherine, thank you.
Lion sack Samantha Power. This is an evil, evil woman. This is an evil, evil administration. I'll say it. The Obama administration doing what they did is evil. It is 1,000 times worse than Watergate. You know, Watergate, they were stupid, and they wanted to go in and find some papers in the DNC. These guys use wiretaps. The government at multiple levels use wiretaps, use the CIA, use the FBI to try to find out what the hell the Trump campaign was doing, because they knew they weren't going to get caught, because they knew Hillary was going to be elected, because they knew they had a bunch of votes already in the bag for her. That's what I think. What do you think? Let's see. Pamela says, ringing a vague bell, please. Glenn says, integrity, none of the Obama appointees had it. Martin says, he looked like me when I was 6, and I got caught with my hand in the cookie jar, LOL. Frank says, ring his bell with a rubber hose in a locked room with heat lamps on. Jason said, I want to play poker with him. He can't bluff. Thomas Moore, Vince Foster, anybody remember him? Lied to the FBI some 30 times. She should have been in court for lying to the FBI and legally unable to run for office. Look at that picture, all those criminals sitting together with Obama bin Laden. What a load of crap. Mary says, Susan Rice's housekeeper found dead after talking to the FBI for a couple hours. She must have told them plenty about conversations she overheard. Is she, Rice, walking in the same footsteps as Hillary? Deborah says, yep. Most evil and dangerous administration ever. Donna says, great show, Rusty. How funny. We don't really think anything will be done to these treasonous degenerates, but it's fun to watch them squirm when the Donald speaks. They're so scared that the money train is going to go off the tracks. They're in panic. They're in withdrawals, and they need their pacifier. Love the show. Watch you from Georgia. All right, you Georgia Peach. Thank you very much, Donna. Jason agrees, Rusty. It's much worse than Watergate. Hillary was in on Watergate, too. Mark says, true. Glenn says Obama came from the Chicago way of doing business. Yep. Let's see. Francis said, and what should the Bushes get a medal for 2 wars if Hillary and Obama shate the same cell, dumb blank, they all loser as far as I'm concerned? Francis, you might want to try that one again. Sorry. Rebecca says, the swamp is bigger than I would ever have believed. Okay. Let's do a funny. I've met Laurence O'Donnell a couple of times. He's on MSNBC. The left thinks he is a friggin' genius. He's done some writing for TV. He has always, not most of the time, not some of the time, he has always been a jerk to me. Always, 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 always. Always a big superstar. Always, he's always been an elitist. He thinks he's better than everybody else. Always, always, always. Now, it appears that on my birthday, August 29th, Laurence O'Donnell had a bad day. And someone from MSNBC leaked the footage. It's about 8 minutes. Now, normally I wouldn't play something this long, but it's pretty good. Now, before I get to this, I'm not going to be holier than thou. I've had bad days on the air, too. I have. And I've gotten mad at my team before. I have. And there is nothing more distracting than something going wrong in your earpiece when you're trying to talk. That being said, let's have some fun at the expense of Laurence O'Donnell because he is nothing but a jackass. So here we go. Have some fun, my friends. And it's not starting. Well, we'll wait for it to start. Now, I see. Now when I'm going to make fun of Laurence O'Donnell, the computer doesn't want to work. Is that what it is?
See how that one goes. Here we go. Thank you, Rachel. Well, today, President Trump visited Texas, but he forgot to bring any empathy with him. But he did bring a hat that is for sale.
58 seconds.
What's going on? Why am I losing this? Why don't I have sound? All right, it's back. Someone's pressing buttons and turning my sound off. Who's asking for a Labor Day rundown in my ear? Someone in that control room is out of control.
Look how mad he looks. Oh, he's mad. Oh, he's mad.
Fucking.
Oh, he's going to cuss. Oh, no.
God damn it.
Number 2.
10 seconds.
Get.
5, 4.
And look how fake he is.
So the president went to Texas today, and as Politico reports, he did not meet a single storm victim, see an inch of rain, or get near a flooded street. Born in horrific disaster and tragedy, and into that tragedy today stepped the president of the United States.
23 seconds.
There's insanity in the control room tonight.
15 seconds.
Oh, he's going crazy. I love it. Finally, people get to see what an ass this guy is.
5, 4.
If you think the president's language was a little too celebratory about the sudden fame that can happen to people during hurricane coverage, a fame no one should welcome, if you think the president's language missed closer and closer to the president himself. One of the deaths in Houston that was ignored by President Trump is Police Sergeant Steve Perez, who had been missing since Sunday morning. You have insanity in my earpiece.
First of all, let me stop it just for a second. I mean, do you hear? I mean, just the way he's reporting. What allows you? How do you watch this? The one death that Donald Trump did not recognize was the death of this one guy. How many deaths were there in the hurricane? I mean, it would be nice if the president could acknowledge everybody, but he missed one, and so Laurence, the president's evil because he didn't acknowledge one thing I wanted him to, and he's got a hat. Oh, he's got a hat. And you can buy the hat. How dare we have capitalism in America? Oh, it's bad. Oh, it's evil. By the way, where's my check? Where's my check, NBC? I want my check. Damn it! Where's my check? And who's yelling in my ear? Give me a check! That's better be a lot of damn money, too! Capitalism sucks. Capitalism and Donald Trump sucks, too. Because I'm better than him. I'm Laurence O'Donnell. Rah. All right, let's go back. Let's see him get angrier. Let's see. There's 4 more minutes of this. 6 more minutes. Oh, this is going to be good. He's just going to get madder and madder. Here we go.
Don't leave it there. It's not my earpiece. It's somebody talking on our lines.
Wham. I'm a baby. I'm a superstar.
10 seconds.
I'm a cuss because I'm mean. I make too much money. I'm special. Wham.
5,
Glenn says maybe he needs a Kit Kat bar. A Snickers.
President Trump did not mention Sergeant Perez today, and he has not tweeted about people are in shelters across Texas tonight. Here's Houston's Mayor Sylvester Turner this afternoon. Every time we go to a SOT, there's a woman talking in my ear about something that has nothing to do with what we're doing here.
Oh, so she must be watching the show. By the way, notice he's not doing the show live. He's just cutting pieces so he can get out faster. That's what he's doing. Now, Diane says, so he's fed the info? Can't he speak for himself? Listen, some people are fed more info, but what you do that for is they're able to tell you, okay, make sure you're looking at camera 2. There's something that's coming up. This is breaking. It's just a way for them to communicate with you. We have it in the radio business sometimes too. A producer can talk to me and in my radio show, not here because I'm doing it by myself, but it's not unheard of. And I don't believe that he's probably got a bunch of people telling him what to say. Now, Rosie O'Donnell, back when she was on The View, yeah, probably. They probably had a team of people telling her what to say. But this guy, I don't know. I'm not going to give him a break. I just want you to know the truth here. Ray says, Rusty, you gave a good imitation, but you didn't cuss. Yeah, see, I'm smart enough to know not to cuss on camera. I learned that the hard way. Well, not the hard way, but there's a famous DJ. His name's Scott Shannon. Scott Shannon is one of the most well-known radio personalities in the country. He's been in New York forever. And years ago, I did a documentary on radio. It was called Radio in America, the Jockumentary. And I went around the country and talked to different people. It was pretty cool. And I had heard that he never swore around a microphone. And this week, I never forgot it. And my best way to do an impersonation of Scott Shannon is it's Elvis drunk. How you doing, Rusty? This is Scott Shannon. D100 Radio. He was with Pirate Radio in Washington, in Los Angeles. I'm Scott Shannon. I'm a DJ at Pirate Radio in Los Angeles, California. Anyway, he said to me, I'm a WPLJ. Anyway, what he said was, when I walk into a broadcast room, is like a church. And that microphone is like being on the altar. And so I wouldn't say anything in a broadcast booth I wouldn't say in church. And you know, he's absolutely right. He's absolutely right. Something that Laurence O'Donnell may have learned today. Certainly didn't know it on August 29th. So let's go back. Let's watch some more hilarity as Laurence O'Donnell continues to lose it on MSNBC, recorded August 29th, 2017, here on the Rusty Humphries Rebellion.
10 seconds. Stand by. 5.3.
Joining us now, James Fallows, national correspondent for The Atlantic and former speechwriter for President Jimmy Carter. Also with us, Josh Earnest, former White House press secretary for President Obama. He's an MSNBC political.
Also, he's hammering. Oh, this is awesome. Watch him. It's awesome. This is awesome.
James Fallows and Josh Earnest, thank you both for joining us tonight. Really appreciate it. Coming up.
Okay, hold on a second.
Is Donald Trump going to be called?
Hold on a second. He just did intro and outro for interviews? What, does he not do the interviews now? Is he too important to do the interviews? I mean, I believe me, I don't watch the show. Did he do the interviews early? That's kind of weird. You're going to do the interview. You're doing your intro and the outro for what's supposed to be live interview. And by the way, if you're not doing a show live, you're supposed to say pre-recorded, especially if it's a news program. And I think that's an FCC rule. Now maybe it's different because they're on cable, but that's a no-no. That's a no. No. Do not do that. No. All right, let's see here. Read a couple of your comments, and then I'll get back. Frank says this guy needs a Midol. You guys are bad. Ron says it's Natasha. Randy says, oh, sure, blame the woman because you can't speak. I think I'm missing something here. Glenn says maybe his OCD is kicking in. William is a Wisconsin proud checking in. Vincent says he needs pampering. Does he blame George Bush for everything? Yeah. Mike thinks he looks really constipated. Frank says, I find people that curse tend to be a lot more open, forthcoming, and honest. Maybe, but you don't do it on the air. You just don't do it on the air. I think. That's me. Glenn says, you have standards, Rusty, integrity. You don't need to crawl through the crud. I can let my children listen to you and not have to explain anything to them. I will say dumbass, though. I will say dumbass. Teresa says, Rusty, your dad would be very proud for you sticking up for America. Thank you, Teresa. That means a lot to me. Thank you. Randy says his mama must be so proud. Thomas says, arrogance is dripping off him. Yep, Glenn, Rusty's a prima donna. Randy says this is better than the Sunday funnies. Jason says he needs to change his Depends. Look at his makeup too. I'll show you. Look how get close. I just noticed this. Can you see how close? Boy, he got makeup caked on. It's caked on. Although last time I was on Fox, they had a thing I have never seen it before. Normally you put makeup, and I don't use makeup because I'm doing it from my house, and that's why I have a little shine here. I probably should. Just to be pretty, I don't know, but I don't. But at Fox, they have these things where you put makeup on. They have sponges and stuff. They kind of wipe it on you. There at Fox now, they got like spray guns. It's like spray painting, but with makeup. Done and done. I always hate doing that. Let's see. Randy says he hears a woman in his ear, so he blames her. Oh, okay, that makes sense. David says, looks like his underwear is on too tight. Morris says he's in need of mental help. Frank says man print and man brawn. Okay. Glenn says his throng is crawling up. Jim says, Rusty, missed your radio show. You know what? I'm doing it here every day. I like it better. I don't have to force 3 hours of material. I just kind of do what I think is interesting for the day. I put it on Facebook. I have the podcast, which is available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You can go back. If you miss anything, heck, you could hear something from 2 years ago. You can't really do that with radio. So I prefer this format, and I'm able to interact with you better. Jim found me. Thank you, Jim. I appreciate it. Randy says, looking good, Rusty, more real. Thank you. Jake says, love your show. Thank you. Betsy says, maybe he hasn't had a cigarette yet. All right, let's finish this up with the Lady Laurence having his temper tantrum here on the Rusty Humphries Rebellion. Here we go.
Called to testify to Congress. Michael Liskoff has the latest on that.
Clear.
Stop the hammering. Stop the hammering out there. Who's got a hammer? Where is it?
I don't know.
Where's the hammer?
It's on a different.
Is it on the... Go up on the other floor. Somebody go up there and stop the hammering. Stop the hammering.
Now, he's a 60s guy. Why didn't he start singing? If I had a hammer, I'd hammer in the morning, I'd hammer in the evening, all through his show. I'd hammer on Donald Trump, I'd hammer on Hillary, I'd hammer... Sorry. Now, I will be honest. If they were hammering during my show, I'd probably do the same thing. It's very uncool. It is very uncool. Okay, I'm being honest. I would probably have done the same thing. But it's Laurence O'Donnell, so we don't laugh with him, we laugh at him. So let's continue. Here we go.
I'll go down to the goddamn floor myself and stop it. Keep the goddamn commercial break going. Call fucking Phil Griffin. I don't care who the fuck you have to call. Stop the hammering. Empty out the goddamn control room and find out where this is going on. It's either there or out there somewhere. The woman talking in my ear was talking about the Labor Day special repeatedly every time we went to a SOT.
Damn sots.
Yeah, what do you mean in the conversation? Not in the Bush SOT, no. Fucking out of control shit.
I'm mad. I didn't get my way. Wham.
1 minute.
1 minute. I'm mad. I'm Laurence O'Donnell. Where's my money? Give me a check.
Harass and intimidate people of color. The new sheriff of Maricopa County who beat Joe Arpaio joins us next.
Ew. Sounds like a really crappy show.
I don't know why I bother to say how to cut the sots when you don't do it. I just don't. I don't know why I just. So now I have to chase those stupid goddamn entrails that you allowed him to stick out there. Jesus Christ. Crazy fucking sound coming in my ear, this fucking stupid hammering. I told you why I wanted those fucking words cut.
He got a potty mouth.
It just fucking sucks. It fucking sucks to be out here with this out of control shit. Any fucking thing can come into my ear at any moment. That's what I know.
Okay. Now, I've had bad days. And I have gotten mad at my team in the past. I was younger. Now, if this would have happened, I would have gotten angry. However, we're now at 6 minutes and 52 minutes of this. 6 minutes and 52 seconds of this. This is just crazy. And there's 2 more minutes to go. This isn't like, when I've gotten mad in the past, I get mad and then I'm done. And then I apologize. I really feel terrible. But I promise this guy's not going to apologize to anybody. Now, he might now because it's gotten out online. He'll probably issue an apology, but no, it's completely made up and baloney. Glenn says, now I got to explain words to my kids. You know what? I'm sorry, Glenn. I didn't know. Hey, there's Joey. Joey used to work for me or work with me. Joey, now you saw him. I got mad a couple times back at the network. Joey was our chief engineer at the network that I worked at years and years. I worked there for like 15 years. I probably worked with Joey, I don't know, 8-9 years. And by the way, Joey, we need to get Not So Scary Terry back. My daughter's asking about it, but that's a long story. If you would please comment on here, was I ever this bad? And if I was ever this bad, and be honest, if I was ever this bad, did it go this long? I'm just curious. I want Joey to be honest. And you're a couple seconds behind because it's just the way the feed goes. Anyway, Ron says he reminds me of the angry-looking eagle in the Muppet Show. Randy says, I hope you don't talk like that. I was starting to like your show, but if you talk like that, I have to quit listening. Randy, I don't talk like that. And by the way, maybe Joey says I will. I'm being completely honest with you. I've said bad things happen. You get angry. You got to understand. And here's where I can relate with Laurence O'Donnell, and I'll tell you the truth. When you're the guy out front, nobody knows about the 50 people behind you. They don't know and they don't care. If something looks bad, it's on me or on Larry O'Donnell or whatever. It depends on how you handle it. And again, I'm admitting, hey, I've gotten angry before. Doesn't happen that very often. Did you not comment? Where's Joey? Joey, I hope you didn't go away. I was curious to get Joey's take, but anyway. Glenn says, well, the kids are getting older. I'm sure they hear worse things at school. Yes. Joe says, you can't deal with liberals. They've lost their minds. Mary says, no, Rusty, would you like us to be mean to you and find out what you do? Pamela says, good. Let them watch it. Informs them of the truth. Kathy says, the poor people work for him should have just walked out. Yeah. Rusty, the front man for the show, good guy. Laurence O'Donnell acts like a spoiled child, says Betsy. Jerry says he didn't seem happy with his job, money and everything. He may have a problem at home. Who knows? Making it miserable for everyone involved. Find another career. Yeah, he does seem very just miserable in general. But let's watch more of this here. Again, we're not laughing with Laurence O'Donnell. We are laughing at him. Let's go back.
Anybody can get into my fucking ear at any time. Some woman talking about what we're doing after the show. Fucking things. There's a reason these words have to be cut precisely.
Wow, he's bad. I've never been like this, ever even close. Nothing close.
And everyone in the audience who's going to complain about what that guy just said is absolutely right. How do you say this guy's last name? Fucking guests' faces coming up in the middle of a fucking script.
I'm mad. I'm Laurence O'Donnell. I'm important. Just ask me.
Man 15. Here's here.
I'm mean. Oh, is that it? Okay. That's it. Oh, man. That's some pretty rough. That was a bad day. He had a bad day.
Let me start with what's transpired over.
Sorry about that. That was a bad day. Let's see what y'all have to say. Randy wants to know. Oh, William says that's got to be the best clip I've ever seen on here. Thank you. Randy says, does he fall on the floor and kick his heels? Glenn says, love your show, Rusty. You tell it like it is. Thank you. Fred says, he's a crybaby. Glenn, maybe his kitten died. Fred says, cool. Teresa's very kind. We love you, Rusty. Thank you. Betsy says, build a bridge and get over it. James, anger management? Or maybe he suffers from Tourette's. Reminds me of that South Park. I got a golden ticket. Thomas says, apparently anybody but Jesus can get into your ear. Diane said, I wouldn't want to be in his house when he gets home. That's for sure. Kara says, remember when he threatened Mitt Romney's son several years ago, trying to appear intimidating by walking towards the camera? Yeah. Joe says, this is what you would have had with Hillary. Mm-hmm. Randy says, I'd like to get in his ear for a couple of minutes. Bayou says his wife is probably a conservative and it's eating him up inside, LOL. Ian says, yeah, all three people in the audience. Thomas says, hey, can't read either. Louise says, that's too funny. Pamela says, Kara, it depends on their age. It's not the only way to get truth. If I had little ones, this is not what they'd be doing. Yeah, and by the way, for you that have children watching this, I do apologize. To be honest, a lot of this stuff, one of the things I'm trying to do on this show, normally if I was doing a regular show, I would have listened to it, I would have watched it, I would have tried to analyze it, I'd have something new and exciting, or try to, be really prepared. It's not that I'm not prepared. I just kind of want to watch it as it happens now and just kind of comment as it's going on. I don't think any other show is doing this. I don't have any heads up. I go through the news, I see something that catches my attention, and then I save that piece, and then I'll read it, watch it, comment just like you are. So I hope it doesn't make me seem unprepared, but I didn't know that he swore that much. I didn't, so I apologize for that. Glenn says he's a liberal. They can't get over it. None of the libs have gotten over the election. How do you think this guy's going to get over it? James says, keep it up, buddy. Randy says, the world's getting worse. I heard my grandkid talk like that once. I grounded him for it. It really makes it hard to teach your kid proper language when you hear stuff like this. It's everywhere, though. Thank you. Mary says, let's send him to Charlie Sheen's show and get this guy some anger management. Betsy says it shows his intelligence. Randy says, go home. You're an embarrassment to your profession. Frank says, my wife says, his crazy showing. His crazy showing. Ron says, typical liberal, angry at the world and hateful. Fred says, what a lid. Dean says, hey, Rusty, checking in from the UK. How you doing, Dean? Jason says, maybe he needs a left-handed cigarette. Ronaldo says, send him some popcorn. Gene says, shout out from Capay Valley, Northern California in the house. Hey, Gene, how you doing, brother? William says, play it again. John says, play it again. Pamela says, live is fun. Impromptu is fun. Morris says, excellent show, Rusty. Thank you. Thomas, leaving. Thank you. It's all good. You can't protect everyone from the world as long as you don't do it, says Randy. Maybe his kitty cat took his Rice Krispies for the litter box this morning, says Kara. Joe says, my kids can see this and they know what's going on. James checking in from California. He's deplorable. How you doing, brother? Matt checking in the news. Rusty, did you ever straighten those pictures? No. They're just kind of the way they are. I'm not the best picture hangerer. All right. Glenn shared the video. He's parked in a truck in Lafayette. Thank you. Randy says Saturday Night Live should do this as a comedy skit. Now, by the way, they should. And if it was Trump doing something like this, oh, would it be a big story? If it was Bill O'Reilly, oh, they'd do something huge. Oh, but not if it's Laurence O'Donnell. They love him. They love him. All right. You know what else I love? I love good podcasts. And if you've checked out my podcast, the Rusty Humphries Rebellion, I really appreciate it. I really do. You can listen to it at iTunes and Stitcher and iHeartRadio and any place a good podcast is. And there are other good ones. I will tell you that podcasts are becoming the home of the left. And that's not good for us. Oops. Hold on. All right. That's we don't want the left to win the battle of the podcast. So what we're asking is that you check out the podcasts. My podcast is in the top 5 of all political podcasts, all conservative political podcasts in the world, thanks to you. And we're continuing to grow, thanks to you. So if you would please look for and share the Rusty Humphries Rebellion, I would really, really appreciate it. Again, iTunes, Stitcher, any great place they have podcasts. Another great podcast is Blunt Force Truth. And that Blunt Force Truth is hosted by, the wonderful, lovely, and talented Chuck Woolery, great game show host, really smart guy, really nice guy. And Mark Young. Mark Young's his best friend and one of the smartest guys I've ever met. And the show is called Blunt Force Truth. And you could find Blunt Force Truth at bluntforcetruth.com or iTunes, Stitcher, any place you get podcasts. Also, would you please support our sponsors? And by the way, Christmas is coming up. And if you have a business that you want conservatives to know about and you want to do some advertising on the Rusty Humphries Rebellion, please email me, rusty@rustylive.com. I'm looking for some top-notch sponsors so I can help get the word out and so that fellow deplorables might have an idea of who to support for Christmas. So if you'd like to be one of our great sponsors, like today's big sponsor, Australian Dream Arthritis Pain Relief Cream. If you want to be a great sponsor, do me a favor. Just email me, rusty@rustylive.com. Put in the tag in the subject line sponsor, and love to talk to you about it. Another great sponsor that we have is WaxRx. Same ear washer that's purchased by doctors and clinics. And if you've got earwax like I do, you can get rid of that earwax easily, inexpensively, and safely. Go to waxrx.com. And if you're a seasoned citizen and you've got dry, itchy skin, and I know it's awful, DerMend products. This is DerMend moisturizing anti-itch lotion. And it's specially formulated for itchy, mature skin. It's got moisturizer, skin conditioning agents, and Promoxine HCI. I don't know what that is, but it's good stuff. It relieves itch and irritation. So if you can find this at Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, other great retailers, okay? And tomorrow, I'm going to be in Disneyland. So I may just do a quick check-in. And hold on, music's going away. So I may do a little check-in, but I'm probably not going to do a huge show. But maybe I'll do it from Disneyland, from my phone. Just say hi. I love Disneyland. So it depends on how tired I am. Laurence O'Donnell using too much of the earwax stuff? No, he's not using enough. He needs to clean it out. Kara says she's already started her Christmas shopping and people look at her like she's crazy. Uh-oh, the winner of America's Got Talent's about to be announced. Okay, I better stop. All right, so anyway, I'll see you tomorrow, probably from Disneyland. Again, 9 p.m. in the East, 6 p.m. in the West. And that's it. Thank you so much for hanging out. I sure appreciate you. Why is that not working? There we go. The buttons aren't going. Where are the buttons? Anyway, that's it. Thank you very much. My name is Rusty Humphries, and we'll see you next time here on the Rusty Humphries Rebellion.